You were at the Crans-Montana Forum, Initiative Walls and Mineral for a Real National Sovereignty. What is your assessment? What are the challenges for your country and the whole continent?
Well, thank you very much. Thank you for having me, and it's an honor to be at this year's Crans-Montana. It's my very first, attendance of this conference, and it's been very engaging, very inspiring, and I want to commend the organizers. I want to commend JP for staying true to his words. He's been doing this, I'm told, for almost 40 years. So it's earned credibility over the several decades, and the crop of the board of directors that's come up with, I think is very credible. So for me, I think it's been an engagement, it's been a conversation, around global issues, global challenges, and more specifically, things that we can do differently in Africa that can help, take us to the next level. Issues around climate change, issues around mineral resources, issues around oil and gas, were extensively discussed. And specifically, my state and my country, I oversee Lagos State government, which is the biggest, subnational in Nigeria, in Africa. It's the largest city-state in the entire continent, with population moving close to 24 million people now. So in itself, it's a massive, massive, city-state that we're running. We do not see any effects, of mineral challenges directly, because we are not part of the Niger Delta in Nigeria, but we feel the brunt, and we know that indeed our government has done a whole lot of learning in the last 5-6 decades, that we've discovered oil in our country. We continue to ensure that we can identify real partners. We can engage real investor and private sector, partnership where we can see investment where it's a win-win situation. Investment where there are local skills transfer, there's local content in everything they do, and there's ability for our youth, young population to be able to take full benefits, of those interventions. We also need to learn and retool ourselves. We all need to be sure that there are no local community issues, but there's a huge potential in the whole of African countries around mineral resources. And we just need to be able to understand what it requires and how we can indeed tap those great opportunities for social economic benefit of the citizens of the continent. We want government at the highest level to be a lot more accountable, responsible, and I believe that with this, Africa is the only continent that has not been fully explored, and we believe that the potentials are there. The potentials that are there if we can bring about true, real partnership from all of our local and international investors, and we get everybody sitting on the same table where we can resolve these things.
A huge potential in this continent. Talk about the planification. Is it an objective for African leaders today?
Well, it has to be, and it has to be for great leaders. There's leadership crisis everywhere in the world. There's war everywhere in the world. There's been global challenges. There's been global disruption from the last 4 or 5 years after COVID. So there's been a lot of challenge everywhere in the world, not peculiar to Africa alone. But African leaders know too well that this is their century. This is a time in which, the youth, the young population of Africa want their leaders to rise up, to be able to sit up, whatever challenges are. Everywhere there are challenges, there's challenges in my state, in my city-state, but we have to be able to turn those challenges into opportunities for them. We have to be able to give them a belief that, they have a tomorrow that is better than today, that is brighter than today. So it's really about, leadership, and leadership that will be accountable and that will, want to sit back and understand that they're in this position to make life meaningful and better, for its citizens. And if we want to engage it outside of Africa, like I keep saying, it is for us to have an opportunity to sit in the room with our partners, not to give us handouts, but to define, and to strategically identify what constitutes real partnership.
You will receive an award what means this award for you? Vous allez recevoir un award. Que signifie cette reconnaissance?
Well, I mean, it's when you receive an award, it's a measure of humility. It tells you that maybe people are watching you, they're doing something right, but what it really, really means is that you have to do more. You have to do a lot more. You know, whilst you feel encouraged by the award that you're receiving, what it tells you is that you need to do more for people to continue to believe in you. So for me, it's a great opportunity, but it's another call for me to be able to serve my people more, to be able to do a lot more for our citizens, for our people, for our country, and for our continent. Because only when we do that, that we truly, 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 really deserves, you know, the award. So, but I want to thank them for considering me worthy of being given an award here today.
And how is Lagos State doing? Et comment se porte l'état de Lagos?
Lagos it's a vibrant city. It's one of the most dynamic cities in the world. It's got youth population that is next to none in the world. It's a city that has a lot of energy. It's got a lot of prospect. It's got a lot of, resilience and sustainability. You know, it's a city-state that we're all truly proud of. It's African pride. It's Nigerian pride. You know, and it's an honor to be running that city, to be overseeing that city-state. You know, a great part of Africa. You know, at this point in time. So we'll continue to have our issues. You know, the best of the startup technology in the whole of Africa are out of Lagos. The best of creative industry, the best of music, entertainment, they're all out of Lagos. You know, so we're happy with what we see, but we still have potentials to do more. We still have the potentials to use Lagos as a testimonial, you know, of the African story, that it is indeed possible for Africa to really change the world and to take it its rightful place. You know, India is doing the same thing right now. China has done it. I think it's our own time and it's our own turn, you know, for us to take it up and be able to deal with it.
Nigeria is a powerful economic country and has many countries in Africa, in the world, faces inflation, a lack of liquidity, the currency is getting down and down. What measures the government takes to face this economic crisis? Le Nigeria est l'une des puissances économiques africaines, mais comme beaucoup de pays en Afrique, de pays de puissance mondiale même, votre pays fait face à une crise économique liée à l'inflation notamment. Quelles sont les mesures que le gouvernement nigérian prend pour faire face à cette crise conjoncturelle?
Well, I mean, like you've observed, you know, economic crisis appears to be everywhere in the world right now. You know, France is not immune to it. That's why they're calling election. The UK is not immune. That's why they're calling for election. US, you know, are having their own crisis. So even in the developed nations, there are economic crises. There's been global, you know, disruption, you know, of logistics and movement, food crisis, food shortages here and there. So we're not immune. You know, Africa is also part of the world, and Nigeria is in that conversation. It's the largest black, you know, black nation, and so we have our own, you know, challenges, and we're dealing with it. And the leadership of the country know too well, you know, that we all need to roll up our sleeves and get to work, and they're getting to work. You know, they're stabilizing the currency. I mean, a few things have to change. Yes, inflation, you know, it's a bit high, but they're curbing it, and we're hoping that it start coming, you know, south. And it's really around, you know, a sense of direction where things have to just begin to turn positively, and we're beginning to see it. You know, so we need a bit more of patience. We need a bit more collaborative effort amongst ourselves. There's been a bit of belt tightening. You know, there's been a bit of reduction in the things that are not necessary. You know, so everybody just needs to be able to understand that there's light down the tunnel, but there will be some disruptions here and there, and we'll all come out of it very well. In the leadership, I believe in the leadership, and I believe that they will do a good job, you know, as we see, you know, in the months and the weeks ahead of us. And like I said, it's not peculiar to us, you know, alone, and we'll all come out of it.
Many Western countries in Africa are promoting a common currency, but we don't see any progress. Is a common currency in Western Africa is a priority for Nigeria?
Well, like I said, I'm not in central government, so but I imagine there is trade movements at the region, you know, and we promote a lot of trade activity within the region. I don't know about a unified currency, but I know that there is an African payment system that will be unique to African currencies alone, where centrally, right, everybody can sort out payments. It's really more around, you know, understanding what kind of payments, what kind of payment platform you need to have. And I think it's Afro-Exim Bank that have started that payment platform, and I think it's beginning, you know, to grow. And you know, there's also the African Continental Free Trade Agreement, you know, which is promoting commerce and trade within Africa and African continents, you know, countries. Let's produce what we need. Let's utilize what we produce. You know, so that's the concept. You know, grow what you require, eat what you grow. You know, so that way we can do business amongst ourselves. And like I said, there's a plan with Afro-Exim to have a unified, you know, payment system, payment platform that will ease, you know, convertibility and exchange, you know, of goods and service within the continent.
Okay, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you. Thank you.